more. Let's welcome to the show, Fly Racing Zone, Jason Thomas. What's up, JT?
Not too much. Just listening to you describe your embarrassment of riches when it comes to Formula helmets.
Wow, can we get Mark's one?
I think so. We have so many there that you're like, can you do something with this one? What do you want me to do with these extra ones?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there are helmets around.
Yeah, there is. We just signing one later tonight. We're gonna auction it off or give it away or something. And yeah, we're gonna do that now. But JT, you're not holding off on the Formula helmet for Marks because you beat him in the riding contest, right? There's nothing personal there.
Why? I was the victor. Why would I have any hard feelings or hold out against Mark? It would be Mark. It would be more like a pity giveaway, if anything, like a consolation prize for Mark.
This is ridiculous. I don't want to talk about this. It's fake news.
Is JT in snowboard? JT, are you in snowboard?
Not in ours.
Oh,
He's
okay.
got other ones.
Excuse me?
Are you in snowboard?
Oh, Discord? No.
Yeah, okay.
No, I'm not.
By the way, thank you to Fly Racing for running the social Instagram post for my 6.8 finishes.
It happened.
It happened?
It happened.
It posted? Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Thank you, JT.
I wanted Mark's. I wanted Kiefer in that post as well, but you shut it down.
Yeah.
You're normally a very generous, caring person, but when it came to that post, you were not.
I don't want to have.
You wanted your moment.
Well, yeah, I don't want to have the winner in one post and then this fucking tubby guy got 6.8. Right? I want my
It's
own.
more like the Pulp Family, vet domination post.
No. Vet domination. Right. Yamaha ran a post for Kiefer. Yamaha USA.
Oh, that's cool. Nice.
A post just for Kiefer.
Let's check. It won't be out till tomorrow, I think.
What?
Cycle News. They still, Cycle News is out digital form, and they still have win ads all the time.
Oh, okay.
Will they do it?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Will they do it?
The Timmyator?
Oh, those were good.
Those were good.
Those were good.
Those were good.
Those were good. Oh no, it's out. So let's see here.
Yeah.
He was getting a win ad. If he got top 5, he was getting He was getting an ad.
Yeah, I was gonna
but
get.
He didn't get it.
Oh,
yeah,
so you had motivation.
Yeah, I did. I can't.
But I thought you were out on World Vets until fairly close.
Yeah, I was.
Yes.
I just didn't prep the same, and then I decided to go. So.
I see. So maybe top 5 would have been possible.
Right. All right, JT. I guess a couple things here. Let's talk about. First up, JGR folding. Man, we discussed this at the beginning of the show. Real bummer for the industry. Really sucks. Suzuki, just couldn't quite come up to the level that Coy Gibbs needed, and he folded, man. So yeah, not good for the industry.
Yeah, it's just seems like another casualty of 2020. It's just a tough year, and to me the interesting thing is that several parts of this power sports industry have really not suffered through this COVID-19 thing. It's actually been a good thing, but I think when it comes to a team like JGR, where they are so exposed to corporate America, that's just how they've always been. They've always been very progressive with corporate sponsorship, and they've introduced a lot of that to the industry. I think they have been a pioneer, so to speak, as far as bringing that sort of sponsorship into the sport. I think that in the end was what did them in was, their corporate America has kind of pulled back through all this, and that made it very difficult for them to, I think, run their team. Of course, the Suzuki side as well, but they were the team that always were able to rely on the NASCAR side to bring in extra money, and I don't think that money's out there right now.
Yeah, it's super unfortunate, right? I mean, if anybody could have done it, it could have been them.
Yeah, and we all know that if push came to shove, Coy and with his father's help, they could go racing if they wanted to. And I'm sure many years in the past, they've had to do it that way. And I think there just comes to a point where it's got to be able to stand on its own 2 feet. And if it can't, I don't blame them for just saying, you know what, it's just time. If it can't run itself, then we're just not going to do it anymore. And that sucks. But maybe there will come a day down the road when America's economy is in a little bit better place and things are a little bit more stable, and they could bring their racing effort back.
Yeah, there's the hits just kept coming, JT. I mean, I can't even remember how many years we've been in this podcast and just talking about how the team practically seemed cursed. So, you know what? I'm sure.
God, we had a lot of laughs at JGR's expense.
We did.
We had a lot of laughs.
I mean,
we are going to miss out on those.
Think of how their last race went. 3 dudes got hurt in practice and they did not race.
I didn't even think about
Alex
that.
broke his leg.
That was like the omen, right?
It was.
Savacci, I heard was.
That was a straw that broke the camel's back and every other bone in all the riders' bodies.
Right. I heard Savacci was fine and was like, I'm over it. I don't
Well,
feel.
he was already hurt coming
Yeah,
in.
yeah, he was
and then
hurt coming
tried,
in.
And then the X-ray in the rig said that Freddie broke his kneecap, and then
Yeah.
like 2 days later they found out it wasn't broken, so he could have raced, which
Right.
is so JGR.
Right.
So yeah, JT, I think you're right. I mean, obviously they have enough money to run a motocross team, but I mean, you got to figure that the fact that the results were so horribly frustrating probably takes away some of the motivation. If they were winning titles, keep it going.
Yeah, if this is 2011, and they have Stu,
Yeah.
and the future's bright. I think they find a way to get it done, but there have been so many seasons where if you were looking for writing on the wall as to why this team should go away, you could find it pretty easily.
Oh,
Yeah.
Anything
everything.
that could go wrong
Yeah.
usually did.
Yep.
We said it earlier. A lot of things blew up on their face, JT, but they didn't perform like they should have. Whether you want to talk
of
about
course. I mean,
signing Justin Hill to that huge deal, whether you want to
Yeah.
talk about Barsha not working out, Stu, like some things not their fault, something nothing to do
Yep.
with them. Other things, poor decisions. Also,
yeah, I think it was a mix of both. I think they were the. I think they suffered a lot of bad luck. So if you had to point to one or the other, I think they had more bad luck than they had bad decisions. But certainly, there were decisions at times where you're kind of scratching your head and going into it. You're like, I don't know if that's going to work, And then unfortunately, most of the time, it didn't.
Yeah, and the rider. This made it worse.
okay,
Most of the time when a rider left, then they got better. That was the real killer. Like Barsha struggling on a JGR Yamaha and then going back to the factory Yamaha team and then getting better.
yeah,
And then Hill and Mookie getting better when they went to MCR. Or Stu leaving and then getting on a Suzuki and then going 1-1 at Hangtown. That kept happening over and over and over. To me, that's even worse. So, yeah, that's got to suck some of the life out of it.
And do we have an official count of number of riders that have rode there?
Oh, my gosh. It has to be 100. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Nick
It's a
Avenue,
big number.
Yep.
Christian Craig, Kyle
Paluzzi.
Regal, Paluzzi,
Yeah, LeMay?
LeMay,
LeMay right there.
Freeze.
Yeah.
Freeze once.
Yeah.
That's right. Freeze once.
What's their highlight? Is it any race win by Stu? Is it Josh Grant's 09 win?
Hands down.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Hands
Season
down.
opener.
yeah. It's their second year. Josh Grant upset win. That looked like, dude, this team. Here it comes.
Really? You think that was your biggest? Okay.
Yeah,
Anaheim
to me,
won.
I would argue that because Josh Grant was not the fastest rider that night. That night belonged to Stu and Chad, and then they took each other out. To me, I think Oakland 2011, when Stu just straight up won, passed his way into the lead and won, I thought that was a pretty big moment for them. I mean, he was just straight up the best guy. They were using like they had kind of stepped out on their own and chose Pirelli tires and made decisions that, I think they were proven right in that moment. I can understand the Josh Grant move, but to me, when I'm watching the race, it was kind of happenstance that they won. And the headlines
Sure.
don't really care about that. But if you're watching the race, you're like, oh, well, that's cool for Josh Grant. But, I mean, Chad Reed and James Stewart, that's going to be what everybody talks about is those two DNFing the race for the rest of the week.
Right. So what you're saying is that night in Oakland was like the one night, and Stu won at Daytona that year. That was like the only time where you're like, maybe JGR is the best in the game.
Stu and Millsaps 1-2 Daytona.
You're right.
Yeah.
Those are the
That
two.
was impressive.
Right.
Yep.
So that's like the only time where you would leave the race saying, maybe JGR is the best in the business.
Well, if
Right.
you went to that race and that was your first introduction to Supercross racing, you'd be
Right.
like, oh yeah, JGR, they win everything. They win
Yeah.
NASCAR, they win motocross, they win
Yep.
everything. You would never know all the other struggles that had gone on.
Right. Yep.
Jason Thomas on the Fly Racing. Pulp Show presented by motorsport.com and Fly Racing. Sorry. I'm just trying to.
Hey,
yeah.
JT, one other
so-
thing on JGR.
I guess don't even worry about the rest of my thing. I was
which
gonna
they
say.
will.
That's cool.
Oh, you got more?
No, that's cool.
Sponsors?
No, go ahead.
I mean, you were doing such a horrible job.
I was,
thought you wanted to
actually.
be bailed out.
Yeah.
On your own show.
You know
Yes.
what? It's a great point. That's why you're a true pro. That's
it's
why
like
you
he's
get
struggling.
Amateur hour over here.
because you bailed me out.
I mean, look, I've been there with GL.
Yeah.
Red Solo Cup.
So, no, I love GL, by the way. He's my guy.
Yeah, JT, we were discussing at the beginning of the show, like, Weege does these intros and these things for these. I never get called, JT. I never. Weege has done intros, launches, new bike stuff. No one ever calls
Do
me.
you think, JT, a factory team will someday call Steve to host their media launch for their new factory team?
I'll tell you what, Steve has overcome all the odds. I mean,
It's true.
he is hosting a radio show in the Supercross pits.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I'm on the Supercross
So-
preview show.
Mm-hmm.
I refuse to rule anything out at this point.
Yeah.
This is
That's a schlong
Steve's
shot.
world, and we're all living in it.
Yeah.
That is what I've
Yeah.
come to
Finally,
learn.
I'm getting some respect, right? Going into my final year of covering the sport, 2021. Going in, and I'm
Yep.
finally getting
So
respect.
this is the perfect time to step away.
Yeah,
Yes. Well, maybe you would have gotten that call, but you're going to be gone by the
right.
time they.
You know,
finally call.
Jordan stepped away after that Utah shot.
That's going to be you at the end of
Yeah.
21.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
So you're
JT,
gonna go
one
play
other
baseball?
fail miserably in
And come back.
another sport. Well, almost happened.
Okay,
Hockey?
JT, one thing that JGR will
Dicks.
not get credit for. I didn't want to say it, but
you dicks.
I was saying it without saying it. Thank you, JT. JGR will not get credit for this, but you were racing in 2006, 2007 when we heard JGR was coming, and one of the main things
Yeah.
they were going to do is have a team thing where you have the team trainer, you ride at their track, you go to their shop every day with their mechanics, they watch everything you do. And that seems so freaking common sense obvious, and also now common these days. But back then, it really was like shocking that they were going to try this.
You know, I think the only challenging part of that was that it was in North Carolina. You know, I think the concept, we've seen that it works, right?
Right.
That's what Baker's Factory is, and
Yep.
that has become the norm.
Yes.
But I think just asking guys to move to North Carolina was just a non-starter for a lot of guys,
Mhm.
you know, especially as you climb the echelon and climb the ladder of talent. You know, asking James Stewart, like, hey, we're going to need you to move to Charlotte and move your program here. He's
Yeah.
just going to tell you no. It's just going to be a hard no.
That's exactly
So-
what happened, yes.
Yeah, that's the toughest part of it is that it's, you know, if that was in Temecula, if Joe Gibbs Racing was in Temecula or Joe Gibbs Racing was in Orlando, they would have never had a problem, I don't think.
Yeah, it was just shocking that seemed so weird. I think fans just don't know. I mean, you did it during the week. You just do during the week. It was on you to just do your thing back then, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I mean, for the good of your own career, you better go do the work. You know, it's going to show up if you don't, and you're going to be the one that pays the price.
Yeah,
But
but
the
did
other
everybody
team-
do that?
No, but in the end, you're the only one that suffers. You know, the team will move on and hire somebody else, but you're going to be left without a job and you know, moving on to a different career if you don't do the work. So for me, it was never about. I didn't need anybody to follow me around and make sure I was doing the work, but I think there are guys that definitely did. You know, they needed a babysitter that made sure that they were going to do everything they were supposed to do, because I think talent would drag them through. You know, it would drag them through mediocrity. And that team was, I think, you know, obviously aspiring for more than mediocrity.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of an innovative thing. It seems so common now that I don't think everyone remembers in
Right.
07 how radical that concept sounded.
Do you think there's a chance they come back? Coy told me they might. Like, he didn't shut the door. I mean, obviously things are still fresh, but
Yeah, I think there's a chance.
yeah.
I do.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I would say more likely than not. That's my opinion, because I think
Whoa.
right now is as tough as it's going to get. When you're asking for dollars and
Right.
just everything about it it's as bad as you look at the state of, you know, American Suzuki and their racing efforts. It's a really tough spot. So they can take a breather, they can reassess, they can try to establish a relationship with a different OEM, or maybe Suzuki is able to come up with the funds. They save some money this year, they can reapply.
Well,
They're
really good in street bike racing, right?
What's that?
They're really good in street bike racing, Suzuki.
They just won the MotoGP World Championship.
Yeah.
But you know,
Street
that
bike.
sport is so different because they have so much outside money. You know, that
Yeah.
sport is all about outside money, where our sport is very endemic. You know, it's just a completely different deal.
Jason Thomas here on the Pulp MX Show, presented by Motorsport.com and Fly Racing, FlyRacing.com. In other Fly Racing news, JT, I don't know how much you can comment, but we're going to discuss it anyways. Baggett appears to be out at the Rocky Mountain team. Savachi is going to team up with Bogle. What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, it's still news to me. I really try to stay out of conversations like that with Forrest because it gets too blurry. Like, the lines get too blurry between my personal relationship with Forrest, the VIP program that we run together as a business relationship. Then you blend in the Fly Racing side, where I'm asked to make or be a part of, you know, budget decisions for that team. And then, of course, the work that I do with you and Weege, where we write about this stuff and talk about stuff, and we're speculating. So it gets really blurry, so I just kind of avoid it altogether. But if that is the case, which it seems to be, first you're going to wonder, what happened with Blake, why the split? Because
does he have a landing spot, right? That same thing with Justin Hill. Like where's he going?
Right.
Right.
And there was another year on the contract too. So where does that all land? Like where does that conversation go? So at some point somebody's going to talk about why Blake's not returning to the team. And then there's, who knows how that all shakes out.
We have our Blake Baggett whisperer here. Do you think he retires? There's no rides left.
However, whatever his explanation is, it'll be the weirdest possible way that you can explain it.
Okay, all right,
yes,
okay, all right.
We can just check that now.
I have heard from Blake's dad over the years, not specifically about this year, Blake can make more money in my business than he's racing. Like and I have no idea if that's true. You know what I mean?
I know for I don't know I kind of know what his dad's business is, and I would bet anything you want to bet on this earth, period, anything, that's not true. Anything.
Not true.
That he can't make more money in his dad's business than he makes right now? Yes.
Really? Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, this is a strong statement. Anything
JT
said bet anything on that he owns.
This is a waffler. Yeah, is now just become lead pipe lock.
Right. When
I have a fairly good understanding of what his salary range is. Being, I'm pretty tied into it. If that's the case, then he should. If he can make that kind of money doing, his dad's steel business or whatever, he needs to leave immediately. Like hop on a jet and go start doing that right now.
Okay, so that's not what he's gonna keep racing.
I don't know.
Right.
Where's he gonna race?
I don't know.
Who's he gonna race for? I don't.
Yeah, he's not gonna make that money anymore then.
Yeah.
Right. The only logical answer to me is that he's not going to race. And I say that because the deal he has another year on is lucrative. So if you know that there are no rides left and you know that you have this contract in front of you, even if the circumstances are difficult, where are you going to go? Where are you going to end up? Even like sponsors really don't have any budget left, like forget about the teams or the OEMs. It's like sponsors, it's super late. We're in November, I just can't imagine where he's going to end up if he decided to step away from the deal he's on.
So Joey letting the MCR offer lapse from what we hear, had a contract, didn't sign it, let it go. McElrath got the spot. Joey must have been gambling that this was going to happen.
Yeah, so was McElrath's spot from Joey, and then Tickle's spot was from Hill?
Yes.
That how it all went?
And Bloss was hired early for however that worked. So, so Savatgy must have been gambling like, hey, I think I got this thing because Blake's not going to ride, I would guess. Because we all scratch our heads like, why is Savatgy
not doing anything?
Not doing anything.
Yeah.
He had an offer from the Motor Concepts. I got that from a pretty good source, and he just didn't sign it. He let the deal go, So, yeah.
I mean, do you guys think Blake races?
I can't see it. Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, I don't know where would he go?
There's him and Justin Hill form a super team of riders who just wanted to get out of their deals.
Yes.
Oh man, can you imagine because Blake and especially Tom is very strong in his convictions. Right or wrong, Tom's always been great to me, but he is very opinionated, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you have Justin Hill, who is kind of just free spirit. We're just flowing in the wind. Whatever happens, kind of happens.
Yeah, man, it's all good. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I don't even know what place I got. Things are good. I could not imagine those guys working together.
Do you think Donald's loss caused Blake to quit? Was he banking? He's a big Trump guy. Do you think he saw the election and was like, "That's it, I'm moving to Vietnam"?
He probably thinks that Biden's just going to pay for all of us for everything, so we're good.
Right.
Actually, Blake probably figures it's not over.
That's a good point.
More
So
likely.
he wouldn't make a decision on
that
that.
is
Right.
A good point.
Right.
Yeah. Not yet.
Right. So that's Savatgy and Bogle, a cheaper team for Forrest and the Rocky Mountain guys, to go racing with. Both guys something to prove. Bogle, there's an instant hate on social for Bogle on my end. Why's he got the ride? He's been hurt. Blah blah blah. I get it. I understand it. But I talked to Burner a few times, and JT's got a buzz going on. But I talked to Burner a few times. They like Justin. He's given them results before when he's been healthy. He hasn't been healthy, so they think get him healthy, he can get the results again. And guess what? As that goes back, they like him. They like him.
Yeah,
You know?
I agree. I think that goes a long way.
Right.
You know, when it comes down to everything's equal, you know, and we
Yeah.
always talk about this and like, who would you hire?
Right.
And I always say, is salary a factor? And then you say, no, it's not. And I say, well, it has to be, blah, blah, blah. But when it really comes down to it, in the end, likability matters. Being easy to work with matters. Sponsors being like,
Yeah.
that's an
Yeah.
easy guy we'd like to support.
Yep.
That stuff matters.
Right.
You know, and
Yep.
I think that's a big feather in Justin Bogle's cap right now is that you can't find many people that have negative things to say about Justin Bogle.
Right. If you have an axe murderer over here, but he can win you races, get the axe murderer.
Winning, yes.
Right.
Right,
Right.
yeah.
But if you have a guy that's like, hey, he's 2 spots better than Bogle, but we don't really know him, and he's got this kooky family, and he's a weirdo or whatever, you know, let's just keep
Yep.
Justin Bogle. You know.
Yeah, I think that helped Benny Bloss for several years too.
Right.
You know, we like Benny. The team got along with Benny. His family is amazing. Like, you know, that stuff goes a long way. When there are very few spots and a lot of riders that are somewhat equal, you know, it's who do we want to be on the
Yeah.
team? And that's where it comes in.
And, you know, sorry, Wade, I'll let you jump in here, but it's almost like I don't let you talk, but you talk for a living.
I'm good.
Okay. Savachi's not a fan of me. He doesn't, and I'm not like the biggest fan of Joey over the year. I felt like he's been negative, and I felt like he feels like the world's against him. He's made a few cracks to me about the media. Again, going back to what we were talking about, Weege, like where he, you know, but I put all that aside. Like I do like him. Like I don't hate the guy. I do feel like his attitude is off. Now, having said that, I got to call it like I see it. He had a terrific year at Cowie. Very impressive. He was the best rookie of that bunch, which none of us thought.
Which is a really good bunch.
Yeah, which is a really
Yes,
good bunch.
He was doing
And-
better than Osborne.
right. And
Yeah.
and I felt like he did get screwed a little bit because of AC.
Yep.
And I was really looking forward to him getting back on JGR. I do believe in what he did at Cowie and with his wins that he has in his background on a 250, indoors and out.
Yep.
You know, he's not a specialist. He's not Justin Hill. He's won outdoors.
Yep.
He's won indoors.
Yep.
He's led laps. He's whole shot. He's won. Did he win a heat? I think he won a heat at Cowie.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like he won a heat. So like, it fucking sucks that this injury held him back. But okay, so having said all of that, I think he can get back. I like it. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of his skills on a bike. Am I a fan of his skills off the bike? Not always. And I would tell him that to his face. But on the bike, I think this guy's pretty good, and I hope he can get back.
It's upside really for both of those guys. And Bogle is likable, and I'm sure that does help. But I think everybody also knows that Bogle gives you that chance, that puncher's chance, that if he does all align, he can get hole shots, he can lead, he can win heats, he can run with anyone. I mean, that rando national that he won at Budds Creek is like the perfect example. Like, we just harnessed this guy, and one day it's going to hit, and he's going to be ours. And I
Yeah.
feel like Savachi is the same thing.
Yeah.
You have huge upside. You have two guys who, if it all lines up, could win, or could win a heat, or could
Yeah.
lead laps, or
Yeah.
could run with anyone.
I would put lead laps and win a heat race. That would be
Winning mains against
Yeah, yeah.
Tomac and Roxon
Right.
and Cooper Webb is very difficult. But these guys have a high upside. They've essentially beaten any one of those guys at some point
Yeah.
in their career.
Yep.
And we always said that about you, JT. Like, that's always the thing. The teams will always tend to go with the high upside, less consistent than the solid 8th, 9th place every week guy. And Savachi and Bogle give you that chance.
Triples. They won't take the triples.
They won't take the triples. They give you that chance.
Hashtag poor.
Well, that
Phil.
Yep.
was Josh Grant for years,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
The
Right.
consistency was never there, but you knew on that certain day it was lightning in a bottle,
I think
and he was going to earn his ride in one day.
JT's top end is higher than either one of these guys' top end, though, for sure. Like,
JG.
yeah,
JT's?
JG.
Oh, okay, JG.
Not
JG.
JT's.
JT's top.
But
No.
JT's top end at Salt Lake City heat race
Against JG.
against JG was
very
much was
good.
higher.
Yes, yes.
Right. We will never forget.
I don't know. I think I agree with you. Yes, on paper, JG had more, but I think Savachi's upside is pretty high.
Yeah. No,
I don't want to downplay that. I think Justin Bogle has a ways to go to get back there. He's
Yeah.
got a lot of work in front of him to get back there.
Right.
But if you get Joey back into 2019 form, let's be real. He should have never lost that Kawasaki ride, in my opinion. You know, he was up against a juggernaut in Adam Cianciarulo, and that's unfortunate. We all knew that was coming. But on paper and results-wise and the potential he showed, he absolutely should have stayed on that team.
I'm shocked they didn't make room for a third guy. I really am. Look, their decision was justified because Adam's better than Joey.
Yes.
But, Joey, they should. I'm shocked, Monster. Someone didn't make a third spot over there and just be like, here, you know. But, yeah, that's how it goes. But I'm pulling for both guys. I think it'd be cool. And they've certainly shown it, you know. And Bogle, like JT, you've gotten to know him this year over the years, and I've known him for a while. Weege, you have too. Always got time for Justin Bogle. I really
He's
do.
awesome.
Yep.
He's
always.
awesome.
Always got time for him. I was really happy when he made it back from his last concussion at JGR. Speaking of JGR.
Yeah.
When he made it back with the team as a fill-in, I said, dude, you've done it. Look at this, man. Like, look, you couldn't even go outside. You couldn't turn the lights on. Your concussion was so bad at JGR that year. You know, you were such. And look at, man, you just won a heat race. You won, so blah blah blah. Anyways,
You know, it's funny. Like I had such a different perception of who Justin Bogle was.
Yeah.
Until I got to know him.
Right.
And I could not have been more wrong.
And Colt Nichols is just like that. Phil was on earlier and
same
said
guy.
Phil said he hated Colt Nichols and now he got to hang out with him and now he likes him. So.
Yep.
All right, other news here. Tickle in, Hill out at MCR. Does anybody know what Hill was thinking when I talked to Tony Alessi? Maybe I shouldn't have said that. I think it's fine. I talked to Tony. He just said he never signed the contract. And they kept saying, what do you want changed? He wouldn't really tell them. Then he wouldn't sign the contract, and they said, do not come to the track today without a signed contract. He came to the track without a signed contract. They took his bikes and sent him home. And I said, what has he got in the back? What has he got going on? Tony's like, I don't know. Apparently he signed O'Neill gear deal already, but does he have a team? Does the mystery of Justin Hill, does it get settled here? Anybody?
It's very on brand for me.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
It is.
100%, right?
It is.
Right.
The only reason you wouldn't sign it is because you would think you have a better deal with someone else, which makes sense, except where could that possibly be?
Baggett and Hill, super team.
Oh, my gosh. Baggett was an O'Neill guy.
Yeah.
Maybe O'Neill.
Yeah. Right.
It's time to go for it.
Yeah.
It's time to go for it.
A-Ray, Hill, Baggett.
Let Jim Holly manage it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So, but Tick will work hard. Tick's like Bogle. He's a good dude. He knows how to test a bike. He'll be professional. Like, is Hill's upside higher than Brock Tickle? Yes, right? We all agree on that?
When we throw that top end upside thing in,
Right.
that's like what we're saying. You have
Right.
a Tickle type and you have a Savachi type.
Right.
Like, over the course of a season, maybe Tickle scores more points than a Savachi type.
Yeah.
But maybe Savachi has the better result.
Right.
So you're picking which style do you want?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hill is high maintenance. To keep him on track,
Yeah.
to keep him on track and performing is
Yep.
a lot of work from
He's
anybody
kinda like
that's
a
worked
really
with him.
talented rock star, right?
Right.
You
Right.
have to keep somebody around them.
Get
and make
him
sure they
to
don't
the
get into
Greek.
trouble.
Get him to the
Right.
Greek.
That is totally 100% yes. Aldous Snow.
Yeah.
Justin Hill is Aldous Snow.
Yes, 100%. So that's an interesting switch there. Also, Alpine Stars picking up the Lawrence brothers. It's kind of the biggest non-secret in the sport. Barsha left, so there's money there. But so both Lawrence brothers will be A-stars. Jet will be a Red Bull athlete at some point, we believe, right? Weech? Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm not surprised, right? Anybody surprised by
No,
that?
it made sense.
Yeah.
It made
No.
sense.
Yeah.
No, I think it's
all
We know that.
Yep.
All right. Good talk.
Well, it's a gear brand. I don't think it's that surprising. You said Barsh is out. And Jet Lawrence, one of the big winners of 2020. Not many winners
Yeah.
in 2020.
Yeah.
But I would wonder, and his agent would probably tell us, I bet you the Geico team going away and Jet essentially becoming a free agent after he had a phenomenal rookie season, and then all the other things, the personality,
Yeah.
he's got international appeal, et cetera, probably worked to his benefit financially.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
A tiny bit.
Just
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Tiny bit.
He is a winner in 2020.
Right.
Yeah.
And do you think the family made the deal with Jet and said, look, you got to give Hunter?
I don't think we're there yet.
Okay.
Like,
Right.
we got this guy.
Okay. All right.
No.
All right.
Hunter's good.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't think that necessarily they were forced into that, but I do think it's a factor. I do think that they know they have to keep Jet happy because Hunter's great, right? And it's crazy that we're a year into this thing and we're like, oh yeah, Jet's the prize and Hunter's and also ran because Hunter was the guy coming in. They were like, Hunter could be national champion like next year, you know? And that whole narrative is completely flipped now. So I have to pump the brakes a little bit myself when I start thinking about Hunter because, yeah, okay, maybe Supercross is not his thing. But if he came out and won the national championship next summer, it would not be that shocking. I mean, okay, yeah, he's not going to be the favorite by any means, but think about when he was coming into the motocross series. We were like, oh, yeah, he'll win multiple races. You know, that was just like 18 months ago.
No, that wasn't me. I wasn't there. But
I was. He almost won his second race of the year. He almost won.
J Mart's a heavy favorite, and then Justin Cooper. I would put Cooper and Jet and I don't know. I'm probably missed Troll Train, all in the same bag.
Right, but if you were to say to Hunter Lawrence, hey, everything's going your way and you're healthy and everything's good going in outdoors, can you beat Justin Cooper for the title? Hunter Lawrence would be like, yeah, he's not at a higher level than me.
Right.
I'm at least the same.
Right.
And I also think that they've been pretty smart about the Lawrence brothers are kind of a brand in and amongst themselves. If you're Alpine Stars, you're getting that.
Right.
Yeah.
JT, Alpine Stars just throwing money around. Was Fly in on that? I mean, did you guys pursue that?
Well, you know, we were in on the Geico deal, and then when that kind of went sideways, we were not in direct negotiations for Hunter and Jet. I think Lucas, his manager, kind of knew the direction he wanted to go. And I will give Gabriel, Gabriel is the owner of Alpine Stars. I will give Gabriel a lot of credit because when he sees something that he wants, and I'm sure he very much wants Jet Lawrence, there's really no number he won't go to. I've seen him, push the envelope as far as numbers to where I'm like, that's never going to pay a return. But he doesn't care.
Yeah.
He wants the guys that he wants, and he's willing to pay for it.
The Alpine Star boot company coming in and generating millions of dollars of sales for Parts Unlimited and WPS over the years.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Thor owned by Parts Unlimited and Fly owned by WPS, and JT won't talk about this, but I just would love to be a fly on the wall when they're like, okay, we love A-Stars because we're selling a shit ton of it and we make so much money off it because it's a very good product and it's very popular. But then we got this guy running around signing everybody. He doesn't really sell the gear. He's degaff about this.
The not really selling the gear, I think, is the thing that makes it acceptable. And again, I don't know if JT's going to comment, but
he's not.
They're a gear brand.
Yeah.
But are they a gear competitor? In the classic
on some
sense?
level, yes, but
level.
right.
You can get it
in Europe. You can buy it all everywhere.
You can buy it here.
You can buy it here now.
Yeah, you can buy it here.
Maybe limited numbers. I don't even know.
I just don't feel like it's pushed.
Right.
And you don't see it a lot.
Right.
Not mainstream.
It's a gray area for sure. Well, it definitely comes up.
Yeah.
It's not like we don't consider them a competitor on a level, but they're also a very strong partner with us too.
That's what I mean. So it's so weird. Right.
It is. It really, really is. And I'll be honest, there are days when I'm like, when I knew they were going to get Jet, I was like, damn it, because I would love for Jet to be in Fly Racing too. But again, I tip my hat to Gabriel because when he wants something, there is no telling him no. He's just going to keep coming until he gets it.
Count me as surprised the Lawrence brothers didn't end up in Fox for sure. So, yeah.
What is the?
I think you know what I think. If this was 10 years ago, I think you would be right. But I think times change and ownership changes and directions change, and there's a lot of different dynamics going on there than there used to be.
What about the jersey up above your head?
Yeah.
Anderson, is he back? Is he Alpine Stars?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think he's in his last year of the deal. Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was saying that everything was up.
My hot rumor that I heard, I don't know, 2 months ago, and it wasn't a great source, but I'll just say it. The hot rumor I had is as soon as Anderson's contract is up, he is out of there and going with Bobby Hewitt to whatever Bobby does. Bobby Hewitt's behind the scenes.
Hewitt's not done.
This is a heavy rumor, so please don't.
Right.
This is just not, don't take this as fact. Bobby's setting something up. He's coming back, and Anderson will be with him as soon as that's all settled.
Okay.
So,
All right. Watch this space.
what do you think, Weege? Is that a crazy talk? Is that?
At one point, I would have said I absolutely can see that.
Yep.
However, I have a huge respect for Bobby Hewitt. I've seen the way he operates. He lets me in the truck all the time. I don't feel like the success that team has had is an accident. However, they have absolutely maintained that level since they've been great since that Salt Lake City run through now, which would lead me to think like, man, it's really not a good team to want to leave.
Yeah. Okay. JT, you think there's anything to that, or is that crazy pit talk?
You know, I can believe it, but I'll tell you the only real question I have is you got to come up with a lot of money because Jason Anderson is very, very well paid and has been for a very long time. So if Bobby has multi-millions of dollars to put a team together and, you know, Jason Anderson's going to absorb a lot of that, then, yeah, it's believable for me. I just don't know where all that money's going to come from.
Right. Okay.
You're talking a factory team that's at least at the same level as the best teams.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to make that a lateral move.
Total
and not
rumor, bro.
Yeah.
Total rumor. All right, let's do the X-Brand Goggle tear-offs before we get too far into this show. Let's do this.
It's the X-Brand Tear-Off segment. 15-second rapid-fire Q&A.
Rapid fire. X-Brand Goggle is a choice of champions everywhere. Stu Baylor, X-Brand Goggle athlete. Josh Strang, X-Brand Goggle athlete. Weege, is there any series in the world that taxes a rider's vision than GNCC?
More than GNCC?
Yeah, more
I
than
think
GNCC.
was what you meant to say. I'm here to help. I'm here to help you out.
I said,
please.
is there a series that taxes the rider's vision more than GNCC?
You didn't say more.
He did not say more.
You left the word more out.
What did I say?
Is there a series that taxes the riders than
Vision.
GNCC?
Vision.
Vision than GNCC. More than.
Give him another one. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Is there?
No, it's I mean,
Right.
dude, half the races are mud races
Yeah.
and they're hours.
And Baylor dominating that series.
Yeah, man.
With
4 of the
X-Brand
last
goggles.
5. Yep. 4 of the last 5.
Now that he's a highly paid factory guy,
Mm-hmm.
do you foresee him just tanking
Now
now that he's got the contract?
Stu Baylor, who the hell knows?
Okay.
At any time
Right.
and all times. Yeah.
Josh Strang, X-Brand goggles. Marty Davalos, maybe X-Brand
Yeah, I was
goggles.
going to bring that one up.
Right. There's already been communication.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Okay, it's
yeah.
happening on the show.
Marty, we're not going to lose Marty.
Okay.
He will be X-Brand.
Okay.
We'll
All
make
right.
this happen.
All right. We'll remember when it happens.
All right. EKSbrand.com. Go to motorsport.com. Type in EKS20 to save with xbrandgoggles.com. Great company, great product. New goggle coming very soon. I test wore it at the World Vets.
Oh,
it worked fantastic.
developed by.
Developed by.
Wow.
These questions submitted by Corey Moser. Do you know him?
No. Have not heard of him.
Okay.
Who is that?
Moser.
He's like a listener?
I think so.
Okay.
All
Never
right.
heard of him.
Let's do this.
All right, Steve. Why didn't JGR's success in NASCAR transfer over to Moto?
For all the reasons we just talked about, yeah.
Thank you.
Bad luck and bad signings.
Wow.
Right?
No, I don't agree with signings, but
You don't agree with the signings?
dude, they had like a 58 riders, so big deal. You're going to give me one that was a bad one?
Well, I mean, yeah, I'll give you more than one, but
2? Look, like I said,
coming
every time,
out of the gate with Summy and Hansen wasn't great.
okay, that wasn't great, but I do remember this, and Steve probably does not. When the word got out at the end of the 2008 season that they were going to sign Josh Grant, Steve was telling them, that's a bad one. That is a bad one. I wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't do it. And then when Anaheim won, he was great really all year.
Okay.
He was great all year.
Weege. Who was JGR's best rider signing and named just one of their many disaster rider hires?
Well,
You
the
guys gotta
best, I
stop
mean, it's
talking about
obvious.
stuff before we get to it.
I mean, the best is Justin Brayton.
Yeah.
There's no
Perfect
doubt
man.
about it. I mean, Brayton, it really is the team. What was it? What was the second question? Disaster?
Yeah, one of their many disaster rider hires.
Phil, for sure.
Oh.
Yeah.
I would say Hill.
I knew that was your example.
Money
of that,
spent.
yeah.
He won a race.
Yep.
Never
On a
forget.
250.
Track down AC.
Yes, straight up.
Straight up.
On an RMZ 250, which hadn't been changed in years. Didn't somebody get on that bike? Oh, Troll raced that bike in Montreal
Yeah.
and said, I cannot believe he won a supercross race on this bike.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, he beat AC on that
But
bike.
he was
straight up.
getting $240 a year?
He was the defending champion of 250 Supercross West. What's the going rate for that?
All right.
That's a fair wage for that title.
All right, JT. If the saying "win on Sunday, sell on Monday" still rings true, when will Suzuki sales hit rock bottom?
yesterday.
You know what the problem for Suzuki was? When they were winning, it didn't result in sales either.
Yeah.
That was the problem.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Steve, what's the cheapest thing Weege has done today?
He's not paid a thing. He got free Starbucks from me. I bought him lunch. We bought him dinner. He has not opened his wallet today.
And I got a free upgrade in the plane, so I got free breakfast on my flight here.
Yep.
It's been glorious.
Yep.
And he's going to get some free art sport.
Yep.
And
Yep.
he parked in Pookie's spot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jeez.
For free.
Yep. For free.
Unbelievable, this guy. Weege, what's a trick or tip you have to help listeners save money this coming holiday season?
Coming.
Yeah, so 2020 has been a messed up year, right? So I think at this point, all your family members are aware that we can't have everything we want all the time. Everything's kind of weird. Everything's kind of on delay. So, hey, if you can't make it happen like before Christmas, just tell them you'll get them the gift eventually. Wait to the time when the best discount comes, and it might not be right now. Such as me, could I spend money on a BMX bike for Christmas? Yes. Would I rather wait till March when the stock at a discount comes back in? Yes.
All
It's
right.
2020. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah.
You might have to be patient.
Finally, your strategy pays off.
Yes.
Right. Just took a pandemic.
JT, rumor was JGR just needed one more sponsor to keep racing. How much money do you think they needed?
$1 million bucks.
JT's very quick tonight. I think he's coming around to this game.
Solid.
It's taking a while.
10 years.
Yep.
Steve, how did Jericho get picked up at Star?
Jericho had teams fighting for him for
Really?
his services.
Were
Yes.
they paying attention to his rider's performance in fantasy? A lot of DNFs.
Jericho. He had teams fighting for him. He asked me which team to go to, what I would do.
Really?
I asked him the wages, the hospital. I recommended the other team,
Of course.
and he went to Star.
Jericho Smart.
I just said, look, I don't think you're gonna have a lot of fun over there at Star.
Who is he working for?
Craig.
Craig.
Yeah.
All right.
So, but he's at Star. Yeah, Jericho.
Worked out.
Weege, what's your favorite koi theory?
Oh, this one is great. One time he said, hey, did you know that Charlotte has the third highest amount of people hit and killed by cars? And I'm like, wow, really? It's not the biggest city? That's crazy. And he's like, it's not actually true, but if it were, that would be shocking, wouldn't it?
What about he can't be knocked out?
It's physically impossible
Right?
to be knocked out, yes.
That was
he
another
cannot
theory?
be knocked out,
Right,
yes.
right.
Because he played football and crashed into walls in NASCAR and couldn't be knocked out. It was impossible. Yes.
I'm gonna miss Coy.
I know.
That's the worst part of this whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
All right, last one. JT, inevitably, a rider is going to catch COVID during Supercross. Who do you think is most likely to get it, and why is it Filthy Phil?
JT.
Do you lose JT?
I think we lost him.
We lost JT.
Oh,
He's,
sorry.
Oh, he's back.
Sorry.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I have to pass on that. There's no good answer to that. There's nothing, because honestly, the scary part is that like people are dying. Like I can't even make a
Good
joke
job,
about it.
Moser. Good job. We got a tweet. That's it, right? Next
That's
one?
it.
All right. We got a.
Do you want to throw this in now or?
Yeah, let's do the outro.
Okay.
X-Brand Goggles, choice of champions everywhere, choice of riders like Marty Davalos
You're saying it.
and more.
You're saying it.
Yeah,
Really?
sure.
It's not even his choice yet.
No, not yet. All right, we got a tweet for you too, JT. Go ahead, tell him.
From Deke976. He said, who would win a 3-lap shootout this weekend at the WPS Ride Day at Waldo? JT, Bradshaw, or Weston Pike? He has Bradshaw.
I would say Weston.
Oh,
Definitely
okay.
not me. I can promise you it's not me.
Are you going to ride this weekend?
I don't believe so, no, because I don't have a bike. That's the whole problem. If I had my own bike, yes, but I don't have. And we know how that went for Darkside, so I'll just not do that.
Bradshaw's all good? He's healed up? Riding?
Yeah, I don't know. Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good?
He should be back.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. All right. Yeah. Chicken.
I know. Bradshaw and
He
Chicken
drove.
getting into it.
He drove across the country to this thing.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Shit. I went to Paris twice now in the last month, and the jump that he crashed on, I'm like, I could totally see what he did. Like, I totally get it.
Is it like angle
Landed
eight?
Yes,
and
it's-
up against the wall.
It's angled to the right, And if you don't quite get your drive or screw up the tabletop before, I could see coming into that wall for sure. So.
Did you go through a whoop section in Paris and see how he got out of control and ghost rode into?
No, I
see
did
how
not.
that could happen?
I
Ghost
did
rode
not.
into chicken.
All right, X Brand Goggle Tear-Offs. Of course, JT, before we go, confirm or deny Justin Brayton will be in a fly goggle for 2021. Can you confirm or deny this rumor that I have heard today?
I can do neither.
Okay, from a prominent goggle source in the industry, coming in hot.
I can do neither.
He'll look good whatever goggle he's in.
Oh, he will?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Brayton, best signing ever for JGR.
Brayton tried to get you to go on a podcast tonight, jerk.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Brayton texted us and said, "Hey, Weech, we're gonna be doing a podcast from 5 to 9 Pacific time with me, Jimmy Johnson, and Damon Bradshaw." And I said, "Steve, do you want me to lock the front door on my way out?"
Yeah. Complete bullshit. Fly Racing, flyracing.com. Thanks, JT. Appreciate it. Talk to you soon.
Okay, guys. See ya.
All right, see you. That's Jason Thomas, everybody from Fly Racing. Colt Nichols coming up here in 7 minutes.